One big Thanksgiving without talking politics. So first I want to say I think the word cult is pretty strong. I wouldn't use that word myself, though I do think it's problematic that when we see something I think we should all agree is bad, justifying it by saying the other side is worse doesn't really help. I think that we should be nonpartisan when it comes to saying, hey, that person's corrupt, or hey, that person's pushing Project 2025. Just because you think there are some people like AOC who believes in the Green New Deal or whatever kind of things you're talking about doesn't justify the wrong things happening from either side of the aisle. Now, when it comes to this up here, no one's saying that men can get pregnant. I have never said that in my campaign. I'm not aware of any one of my fellow Democratic colleagues who ran for office who have said that. That is a narrative pushed by Fox News. Now, I will say that when I was growing up, I was taught that there was only two types of chromosomes. There was XX and XY. That's what I was raised to believe. Only for years later and more recently find out that there's actually several more mutations than just that. And also to come to find out that 30% of men lose their Y chromosome.
Are you a geneticist?
I am. So most women have two X chromosomes. Most men have an X and a Y, but you can have one X, three X's, XXY, XYY, and other combinations too. And all of what we're talking about is related to but distinct from the idea of gender, which reflects, one's lived experiences, their identity, even sociocultural factors. I have a fun fact for you, John. Among men of a certain age, about a third of them, we can actually detect that some of their cells, some of their circulating white blood cells, have actually lost their Y chromosome.
I mean, given that this is the reality, if you ask me now, what is a woman? Well, previously I thought there was only XX and XY and that was it. Now that I realize it's more complicated than that, if you ask me what is a woman, of course I'm going to say, well, because I was lied to growing up about the whole XX and XY thing, I guess I would have to take a course that would teach me certain studies about gender to make sure that I understand things correctly. That would be the gender studies. And that's not me pushing any woke agenda. That's just me having an open mind and wanting to understand. Because, the Olympics a long time ago, they tried to do blood tests on the athletes to basically determine, well, who has XX and XY in order to make sure that, only males and females went into their particular sports separately. And they found out that they couldn't do that. They couldn't do that. The Olympics tried to do that, and they realized that you can't just look at chromosomal stuff in a bloodstream and determine what kind of genitalia someone has based upon that alone. Apparently, it's more complicated than that. But that's what we're talking about when we talk about gender studies. But this up here, no one's saying that men can get pregnant. I've never said that. I don't know of any other Democrat who's run for office who has said that. I suppose you can find maybe someone out there who has said so, and you could take that out of context, but that's not a real serious thing that any one of us who's run for the Democratic office believes in.